In 2002 was the outbreak of the Boston Globe's exposure of the Catholic clergy sexual abuse crisis. My entire time in the seminary and the priesthood has been hung over with this cloud of Catholic clergy sexual abuse.
I remember him calling me, and just the anger, the frustration, but just the sorrow for the church, but for all these children. Within his heart was this desire to fight for these kids who had no one to fight for them.
I remember waking up in my rectory, and I just remember making a prayer, Lord, if there's anything I can suffer for the victims, I would do that willingly. I was actually running on my treadmill in the rectory, and I just got lightheaded and lay down on the floor, and the right side of my body just kind of tremored. Eventually that led me up to the Mayo Clinic. I received a diagnosis of the brain tumor, and as soon as the words brain tumor came out a year after I had made that prayer, I just knew that instantly that was an answer to that prayer. I knew that God had a plan. I ended up writing up a blog post just saying I'm going to offer up all his suffering for any victims of Catholic clergy abuse. That blog post went viral. I got in touch with about 170 different victims and also heard from a lot of families of victims who had died, even victims who had died by suicide. And so I took about 180 names into that surgery.
I knew that he was going into battle, and no one should ever go to battle alone. When I went up to the hospital, I had been given instructions by him that as soon as he came out of recovery, that I was supposed to put a bracelet on him that said, "For the victims." It was so intentional that what he was doing was offering this for the victims.
For 9 months, I did chemotherapy at my friend Father Jonathan Meyer's rectory at St. Martin's. I would still celebrate Mass every day. There was a lot of suffering throughout that whole 9 months.
The depression of the drugs themselves, of what they do to you, he was in the crucible.
One of the side effects from the chemotherapy was like anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts, which I think the suffering for victims gave me sort of that inspiration to keep going and to just take it one day at a time. But in March of 2022, there was a pretty grim MRI that my tumor had started to grow back and that the tumor had spread to my pituitary gland. I was totally fine to die. I was like, if I'm asked to make the ultimate sacrifice for the victims, I would do that, very willingly. But I thought, well, if I go to Lourdes and I'm healed there, that might help some fallen away Catholics in my parishes come back. I think the better thing actually that happened in Lourdes was just like, I'm reminded of how much God loved me, because he just literally cleared the path for me. There was so many different moments on this week-long trip where things could have just totally gone out of control, and they didn't. I had a regularly scheduled MRI about 2 weeks after I got back from Lourdes, and then my oncologist said, your tumor is gone, and the only thing that's showing up on the MRI is scar tissue from your first surgery. And so I kind of put it all together that I was healed. The Knights of Columbus have been a great support to me and just kind of giving me the opportunity to share the story. It's a great organization and very thankful for all that they do. None of our parishes would be the same if there wasn't the Knights of Columbus.
Since their inception by Father Michael McGivney, the Knights of Columbus have gathered and rallied around priests to support them, to help them. That's exactly what they do. Every encounter that I've had with the Knights of Columbus is men who genuinely want to support priests, support vocations, and help their parishes. There are victims in my parish, individuals that have been hurt by clergy. Their names were read off to him every day. And so I know for a fact that his suffering has changed people's lives. I know for a fact that what he offered has brought healing, and it's changed people's lives.
I think that being able to walk in and say, oh, you went through chemo, I did too. And you went through surgery, I did too. You went through radiation, I did too. You suffer anxiety, I did too. You suffer depression, I did too. I think all of that has helped me become an infinitely better priest. instead of like trying to rebel against suffering or to medicate away suffering or whatever that might be, is to just actually like pick up our crosses and follow Christ, because he suffered for us. Our sufferings can bear amazing things in both our life and in any lives that we're offering that suffering up for.